Okay, here we are again, 18th of December, Tuesday, 2018. There's 3 meetings for today. The 3 meetings are Mornington, Rockhampton and Armadale. Mornington at best is a tricky track, so I wouldn't be looking for a bet there. Rockhampton, the rail is out and a wet track, so we're pretty well stuck with Armadale, which again is tricky track at the best of times as well. Now it's a soft 5 track, looking at it now with about 40 minutes to the first race, and chances are there will be an upgrade, maybe not. Gone through and looked at most of the meeting. The races we're going to focus on today are going to be races 6 and race 8 at least. So looking at race 6 very quickly. From a market viewpoint, the top 2 picks in the market are the top 2 picks in the TAB market as well. In this particular race we have a number of replays which again can prove to be quite useful. Have a look at the first one, Scone 2200 metre race. Now this is only a 1900 metre race, so they are back in distance, these horses. Looking at it, sorting from top to bottom, Exilia Miss is on top. She did have barrier 3 last time and has gone out to barrier 11 and is back in distance. But in terms of the figures, she's got these horses beat. Rage Against was leading last time, so back in distance may be an advantage, and the other 2 don't really look to be that much of a chance. So based on the figures here, we'll probably be downgrading Broke Girl to a place chance. Looking at the other replays, we have this run here, this race here at least, Bonnie Sar and Lonely Orphan, neither of which are hugely fancied. Looking at the form, Bonnie Sar does have a reasonable barrier, so probably could be some sort of place chance, certainly way down at the weights. So we've got a prefer on her there, so we'll boost her up to place chance. And looking at her form, she is racing quite well at the moment in slightly weaker company. So she's run second in a 47 race there with 59. Middle she has dropped down to 54. Probably going to be outclassed in this race. But again, she is racing quite well with big weights. Looking at the next replay, we have this Inverell race. In this, Exilia Miss again has come out and beaten Baroque Girl again. The barrier and being back in distance, well, it's not back in distance on this race, but on the previous race, on the last start at least, is back in distance. You would think Exilia Miss is going to beat Baroque Girl and Bob's the Dazzler at least on this information here. And that's about it for those ratings. Now the other horse that's considered to be a chance in the race is Kashan. If we go back to March at least this year, did win an Armadale Cup race. So clearly 1900 metres is suiting, and unlike the other horses, this horse is stepping up in distance rather than coming back in distance. So from that viewpoint, would have to be some sort of chance of winning this race. So the main chances, as far as it looks, if we sort according to some chance, we've got 4 horses in there. A touch more at the top weight. Again, hard to assess. We'll have a look at him very quickly. Very hard to assess this horse because he's basically coming. He did win an 80 class race at Roma, which is a weakish track on a Saturday. Then he did go to Doomben and ran okay in an 84 with a low weight, and now it's up to 58. So again, the benchmark figures is dropping quite a lot in terms of weight, perhaps due to the apprentice. So we'd have to be saying this is some sort of chance, but if anything I would probably be saving on this horse rather than backing it straight out, so to speak. So looking at those, it's 1, 2, 4 and 6. Of those, Exilia Miss appears to be the best chance, but as I say, she is back in distance, coming from last start in a small field. But if we have a look at the sectional time, 34.7, it was a very strong sprint home, and she came home very strongly. So although back in distance, it could be a pointer to her running well, but again, has the bad barrier. Certainly if she had had a better barrier, this would be the most likely winner in this race. So that's it for this race. 1, 2, 4 and 6. So if you were going to be taking a multiple, these other 3 horses, you'd need to chuck them in somewhere for second and third. If you're taking your first 4, you'd have to go more narrow. Hopefully you could see the horses before the race to get some idea. But if I was going to go narrow in this race, I'd take 2 and 6 and then take the rest of them for the other places. Okay, over to race 8. This race is the race we're looking for the covered bet. So in this race it does look like Jamaican Dream is going to try to lead again. Last time it had a bad barrier. 59 kilos is down to 58.5, so it is down in weight a little bit. Same distance, probably a slightly tighter track, so it probably is better suited in some ways. But if we have a look at its form, it's really 1400 looks to be about as far as it's going to go. And well, there's no reason why it's not going to try to lead again, looking at the form and get run down. So this looks like a reasonable lay in this race. Again, looking at the replays, no, this is not the Jamaican Dream race, but looking at these figures, Here Come the Drums and Chatterow, Chatterow won. Here Come the Drums worked home quite well to run third. But looking for the Here Comes the Drums and Equinator. This is another race with Here Come the Drums. Had a bad barrier there and went back to last. So the problem with this horse, it's one of these horses that's going to get back on the run. So the question is whether today from barrier 3, whether it's going to jump and take up a position, or whether it's just going to get back to last again and be no chance. This is the problem with this sort of horse. The Equinator, on the other hand, looks almost certain to try to lead again or race up on the pace and probably weaken. Maybe it's this one. Here we go. This is the race of interest here. This is the race won by Shangato. Again, sorting the ratings. Fearless Owl raced home and ran past Jamaican Dream in that race, and meets it on the margins and weights slightly better. It's very hard to see Jamaican Dream being able to hold on and beat Fearless Owl, at least in this race. Whether something else beats Fearless Owl is another story. So looking at the I'll have a look at the summary. The problem with tracks like Armadale is generally they don't have very many sectional ratings, and so it makes it difficult. 35s are only very low ratings, so basically very low ratings, and the rest of them had no sectional times, so it's impossible to draw any conclusions from that. These two have got the rating from that one race we just looked at earlier. So in terms of chances in this race, there does appear to only be a few chances. So in terms of the covered bet, we would be laying Jamaican Dream, and we would be backing Here Come the Drums, Fearless Owl and Chatterow. So this gives you some idea of how to use the ratings calculator, some other approaches and we'll see how we go at Armadale today. That's the end for this video.